Okay guys, so finally it's time to build this baby up.
Hello, it's me. I would like to apologize for the first 20 minutes of the video because it's not filmed in high definition. I have not realized that I have been fiddling around with the settings, and when I pressed record, well, you'll see. Anyway, after 20 minutes, the video is going to be much clearer and sharper. So enjoy.
Okay, so just to give you a preview of what we are going to be doing, it's this. This is the look that we're going to go for. This is the request build, and I have to do exactly the same as this thing is, so this is going to be my reference. It's not going to be a whole lot of weathering because the owner of this kit particular asked me to make it pristine, which means like out of the factory. We'll be doing some of the detail work, like, you know, I'll do the straps for the bonnet, and I'll do the ties that tie the canopy to the body, like I've done on the previous one. But for the most part, it's just going to be as clean as possible, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. Also, I have another one here for reference, but this one is a little bit more white. I've actually mixed up a paint already in the past because I did one before, and it's basically a flat white F2 with buff inside. The mixture is around 10% of buff to 90% of white. So yeah, this is the special color for the body. Now, let's just quickly dive in to the contents of the package. As you can see, we have the main body, which is, you know, just a shell, nothing really fancy. It's gonna be quick to build. Then we have a couple of screws. Let me get my knife. It's gonna be a quick build. We've got the engine parts. Basically, this is all from the bottom, like, you know, this the engine parts, the exhaust. Basically, the engine part is going to be kind of boring because you won't be able to see it. This kit actually has a hood that covers the engine compartment, and you cannot open it once it's on. So the customer, or the request was that it's closed. So because it's going to be closed, I'm not really going to bother with the engine detail too much. On the first one, I actually did a little more fine detail work. Here, I'm just going to paint it like engine color, you know, basic, I think it's called steel. Because the only portion that it's going to be seen is the bottom portion of the engine, which sticks out from the bottom, and for the rest it's just going to be, I don't know, probably black, so that doesn't really shine through that much. Yeah, that's quick. So then we have the wipers, and a lot of this stuff is not really used apart from these door handles and the gear shift and the back mirror. The rest is just, you know, something that's not used. Here you can see various seats, but only these two seats get used, and the back seat, which covers, you know, the hole in the back. This dash it's not used. This is not used. This is not used. These things are used. Also, these things are used is in the engine assembly phase, and of course the exhaust that comes in the bottom. And I don't think this is the right wheel. The wheel is in the steering wheel. The back seat is not from this model. So let me just open this up. Okay, so we have 5 rubber tires, real rubber. It's nice, squishy. These are okay, but not perfect. Then we have basically the assembly part for the back seat, which is this part. This is like the bottom seat. This is the side, the rest, and this is what goes on the back side. Then we have 2 doors and inner doors and the pillars and the grille and the hood and the I think these are like wheel arches on the bottom. Yeah, so yeah. And then of course this last sprue are the 5 wheels, the steering wheel that you need to do with the dash, and the bottom chassis, along with the canopy on top and the frame. The last piece are the clear parts, which again are very simplistic but annoying. and you'll see what I mean. So the clear pieces are very sharp, right? They're very nicely presented. They're really crystal clear, but you have to paint them in tarp black, so it's like it has this little rubbery thing going on, and it's annoying because you have to mask off this area. And here it's no problem because you can just put a masking tape on and just cut on the sides and it's going to be fine. But on the back side it's clear, right? There is no reference to any shape. Like you have to kind of look through the glass and kind of go by eye, and I don't really want to do that. So I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna mask off these things and then put them like on a photocopier, and then cut out the shapes from the photocopy and then paste them on the back sides so that I will be able to paint them on both sides. Because on the previous build I didn't really paint in the inner part, the inner portion. It kind of looks glossy on the inside, so I want to avoid that. So yeah, that's basically all that is to it. As you'll see, it's going to be a quick build, hopefully. Not a lot of parts, and yeah, enjoy the ride. Okay, for editing purposes and to make this whole experience much more smooth for me, I am not going to show you the whole me cutting out stuff from spruce. So I'm just going to be like, this is what we have to do. These are the pieces. That's how they go together. So yeah, before we begin, I would just like to mention that if you are going to buy this kit, there's something that you have to know. And on the top here, let me just put this away. Right on top here, oops, let me just stab myself. On top here, you will see the paint chart, and some of the paints listed on the assembly are not really here, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't matter because you can wing it. This is where we start, so this chassis stuff, and then we will move on to the engine assembly. Like I said, I won't be painting any of these parts because they won't be seen, so it doesn't really matter if I paint them or not. However, I will paint them in black and just the general metal color, because there is a portion of the engine that is seen from the bottom. I wanted to do this with the engine mount open, engine cover open, but the client in this case wanted the car to have just closed, so it's gonna be fine. Right, so the first step is basically to put this here, and then we have these three, well actually 4 pieces that go together, and let's do this, right? At this portion I have to wait until this thing dries, and I just realized that I haven't taken this stuff off, so this goes off. These 2 rods are supposed to be connected to the this wheel portion where the hub, I guess, is I think it's called. I have to wait until the glue dries a little bit more, and then I'll just glue it in place, and I'll clean off the edges a little bit, and then basically the bottom portion is done. I will paint it in black, in flat black, FX1. But before I will do that, I will, oh wait, this is really annoying because you will see that if this is like a part of the exhaust, which is kind of funny. It doesn't really fit on the slot. Everything about the Heller kits, these earlier kits, I guess, it's like a little, it's like wonky. So it has like a huge gap in each side, and it's just awful. But for a cheap kit, it's okay. Like I said, I will let this dry, then tack these things on the corners, and then I will proceed to the engine assembly. Okay, the engine assembly is pretty straightforward, I guess. You just put these 2 pieces together like so, and you just slap some glue on. basically the engine part done. Okay, so this is the assembly part of the body itself, and as you see, as you can see, I'm just cleaning off some of the stuff that I've already cut out from the sprues, and it's pretty straightforward. Basically, what you do is you take the dashboard, put it in place. Oh, before I tell you this is the gear shift thing, right? And in the instructions, they tell you to cut off the handle and put it through the hole and glue it back in. Don't do that. It's just not necessary. I just squeezed it in through the hole, did some loving care, and just, you know, it works without destroying it. So just bear in mind. Then you just take the dashboard and you find the holes, put it in, take some glue, put it on each end, maybe a little too much glue there, and just put like so, and it will stick perfectly. Since I am covering the bonnet or the hood, I'll just put some glue on each side like this, and I'll glue it in place. And it should go inside. Yeah. See, otherwise it wants to be like this, but you don't need to do it. So I forgot I have to cut off these ends now, stubs, and you just put it in here. Take some glue, put it on the side, and you're done. Okay, so the next thing is the grill. The grill is pretty straightforward. Again, you just, and this one goes in pretty tightly. You just push it inside and it will stick perfectly. It won't fall off. You just secure it with a little glue and it's nice. See? Perfect. Okay, so now we have the sides. I think these are the, what are these called? The arches? I don't know. I test fitted them inside and they should go inside pretty decently. Now you have to kind of hold it with one hand and push it against the wall and then just apply some glue. Let it squeeze inside the crevices while you push. That's a little too much glue. I'm too generous, I tell you. And then just squeeze it against the wall and it will sit perfectly. There. And then we do the same thing on the other side. We squeeze it against the wall, we position it until it's flush with the body, right, like so, and then we just put glue on the edge. It will go inside the edge and it will stick nicely. Perfect. Perfect. Now the gear shift thing, I'm gonna glue it in place. I'll position it so that you can see it like this, but I'll cut the end here, which dangles like so, you know, because you're supposed to attach it to the engine, but it's like, well, whatever. I'm gonna glue it in place and it's gonna be fine. Now the next thing is doors, and again the doors are pretty simple. Each door has an insert, right? My God, I'm clumsy today. So put this in, take a dash of glue, just run it along the edge, and it will just flow inside the crevice and it will be fine. And I need to tidy up the top portion a little bit because I was sloppy. Okay, that's one door, and then the other, same exact thing. Just plop it in, take some glue, go inside the hole, the crevice, not the hole. My terminology is a little bit off. Okay, and that's the doors done. I have to put the handles in, which are these little small things, which I've already lost once. So I have to find another one. Oh, there they are, very small. I have to check which go to where because I forgot about that. But I will not be putting on the pillars for the Mehari, because the first time that I did this, I glued them straight up, and I was having a bitch of a time bending them into the shape of the roof. So I'm not going to do this time. I've learned my lesson. I will paint them separately. Doors, on the other hand, I can put. And as you can see, again, you can display this piece with the door open. And if you're going to display the piece with the doors open, you don't need to take off the stubs, right? You just put it like this, and you glue it like this, and the doors will be shown, right? But because the doors are going to be closed, I need to cut off this top thing, like so, and position it inside. And that's how we basically roll. The back seat is also a little bit tricky, but it's not impossible. This is a back seat rest, and it goes on this side like so. So you basically just glue some on the sides. Like so, and then you have to kind of put it in the slot, right? And then you have to somehow push this inside like so, and you'll see a huge gap appear, which is not ideal. But what I did was I just put some glue on the edge right here, and that seemed to work. So hopefully this is going to work the same as it did the last time. It's a gap, but it looks like it looks fairly authentic gap, like somebody has been sitting on the back seat and it's like indented now. So the next thing is the tailgate, and the tailgate is basically straightforward as well. You just plop it in place, and this one doesn't have any pins or whatever, but you just kind of have to maneuver it and make sure that it's fairly flush and upright. And you have to just put a dab of glue on the bottom. I make sure that you align the pins on the bottom, like, you know, the where the door would naturally open. That's okay. It's pretty good. You can see gaps on both sides, but I think it's pretty authentic to the real thing. So I think that's for the most part it. Let me just check. Okay, see, there's what I'm talking about, the Gearshift knob. You're supposed to take it off, but that's stupid. So the smaller ones, okay. So now we put in, let me check my reference. So these bigger ones, I think, are the outside, yeah. These are the outside, so we take a little glue, take the tweezers. This is really fiddly work. This is the only fiddly work on the model itself. Wait, stop fighting me, man. Oh, crap, where did it go? Where did it go? to the foot pedals. And the foot pedals are actually
Here I've just realized that I haven't cut out the arm from the Gearshift knob, and yeah, here it is. It fell out now, and I'm just positioning the Gearshift knob, and I glued it in place. So yeah, here I am putting liquid mask on the wheel hubs, so that when I'll paint it, the paint is not going to be on it, and that's basically what I'm doing here.
okay. The last major component to be constructed are the seats, the front seats, and again they're very simple, very straightforward. However, I think we will probably need to put some putty on the back ends because they are not very well engineered and they leave quite a substantial gap in some places. But if you squeeze it enough, the glue should seal it all in. Hopefully. So again, we just push it in. We take the glue on the edges and we just push it in. It's kind of fiddly, this thing.
off camera, I put this back seat in this inside. It's basically just slots inside. It's not even glued. I'm not going to even glue it because it doesn't even matter. And I have painted the foot pedals in black, XF1, and I've also painted the Gearshift knob in black, and then I've used some acrylic paint to paint the rod that connects the handle. I have to do one more coat because it's not covering very well right now, and it has to dry, and then I'll do a second splash. I also have to repaint a little bit of the seat because I did do a poor job of it. The pillars are okay, but oh sorry, the seats are not. They should be painted a little bit more better. I also have to retouch the top of the canopy of the roof because it's now it has a little black spot that's not supposed to be there. And I've also done, and I also have to retouch a little bit on the bottom of the steering wheel because it has a little white spot. And I've also made these handy dandy little straps that will go on the pillars, because I've decided that the original Mehari has like this pillars on the side. They have like this like this, the handles, the glue on the side, and I'm going to replicate that on this build. But first what I have to do is do another coat on these pillars because they are a little bit white still, and after that I'm just going to glue these things on top. This is basically just styrene. I made a loop of styrene. Maybe I'll put it like this. So this is just like a loop of styrene that I painted in black, and then it will be mounted like here, and it will be like, you know, a handle for the passenger. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing next.
So a little bit on the progress on the build. As you can see, I have basically let me focus on this. I have pretty much finished the whole model. I have to just put the roof on top and install the wipers and the front lights. I still have to do some cleaning up because I messed up the paint job. And of course, oh yeah, and the side mirror. I have to put the 2 side mirrors on. Actually, there's only 1 side mirror that comes with this kit, which is kind of funny. And I have to use the spare one that I didn't use for the first build, from the first build. So yeah, that's the first one. I'll glue it together, paint it, and then I will stick it on the side. But other than that, it's basically done. On the bottom, it's pretty, just basic. And here's what I said. From the bottom, you really can't see enough of the engine. Even from the side, you can't even see anything. So it doesn't really matter if it's really painted or not. I've done the exhaust, so I've cut out a hole. Oh yeah, and I have to mount the lights, which I have to paint as well. The whole build is pretty quick. This took me like a week, less than a week actually. But oh yeah, and when the straps looks really good, don't they? They're not in the original car. I mean, they're not in the plans, but I put them in, so they look pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically what I have to do. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually cutting out from a piece of styrene the little straps, and these little straps are actually the straps that are supposed to be here, but the original kit does not give you anything, so I'm gonna put them in. So these are supposed to be like so, and they're like supposed to be like the part that keeps the bonnet or the hood down, right? So I'm gonna put them in, glue them in place, and paint them in black, and then just do some couple of touch-ups and we'll be done. I'm not gonna film this part because it's basically very boring, but I'll show you the results after. So the plan is that I take this little tube and I cut it out into small pieces, and then I position it on the edge here, and then I'll take this. I think it's called fishing twine, and I will loop it into the holes and connect all these spots here so that simulate the canopy being tied down. Hopefully this is gonna go well. Okay, so these are the small pieces that I've cut out from the tubes. I was just using this tube. Let me show you. Not this one. This one. Brass tube. And these little pieces are gonna be put on the edges, 5 on each side, and then I'll thread the fishing twine through them. Wish me luck. Okie dokie, so as you can see, I have placed the tubes on the sides, and it looks sakshar on the other side as well. Now I have to wait until the glue dries, and then I will paint it in black. Before I'll paint it in black, I'll thread the fishing twine through. So because I've painted this fishing twine in black as well. And then I will go through all the loops and try to connect these points without making too much big of a mess, because the first time I did quite a big mess. Then all that it's basically left are some detail work that I need to fix, like on the back, whether the hinges and on the sides. And of course, last but not least, are the lights. I've painted them already in their respective colors. And yeah, that's basically gonna be it. I'll probably print out some license plates on an A4 paper, but that's basically it. So this is how it looks right now. I've assembled the mirror, the side mirror. One is already done, as you know. So this one is already done. This one I have to paint, and then I'll just put them on each side, and yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. Here we go, guys. This is the last portion of the video. It's complete. Okay, I've done this wire, this little strap that holds the tarp on the bonnet, on the body, sorry. I've also done it in the back, see? And I've done on this side as well. It doesn't look that good, I must admit. I mean, it looks a little dodgy, but it's okay. I super glued them in place. It's really hard to do this because the super glue kind of gets in the way. So yeah, I don't really know how to do this otherwise, but it works for now. I've installed the lights on the back, and I've installed the indicators in the front, and also this inner portion of the light, which is just basically painted, nothing else. There's no clear part. I've also installed the side mirrors. Again, you only get one side mirror in the kit, so the other one is from the previous kit that I've done. The straps are on the bonnet or the hood. They've been painted, and you know, from this distance it looks pretty good. Up close you can see some, well, let me focus, some boo-boos, I must admit, but it's okay. Keller kits are not very well engineered, and this is one of the things. No matter how hard you want to put, you know, make this gap go away, you just can't. Also, the top portion doesn't sit very well on the frame, so it's kind of wobbly, and I had to really glue it down to its place. And I don't know why it's not focusing automatically. The bottom portion looks like this. Nothing really fancy, you see just the motor. The wheels don't turn. But yeah, it's a fun and quick build. Well, fun in a sense that it's quick. And everything else is not really fun, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend this one to anybody, especially if you're a novice, because it's gonna fight you all the way. Especially because of all the fit issues. And so I would recommend you buy something maybe more expensive, but much better and easier to put together than this. But it's a unique car. I did enjoy the process, and it was quick to build. I mean, this took me, I don't know, a week, right? It's a very quick build. Very, very quick. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the ride with me, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye bye!